Our next presenter is Marlene Prinzing, and she graduated in 2003 in Somatic Psychology. Marlene has over 50 years body training experience in the field. She's the inventor of the Prinzing Method, and she is an intuitive processing expert. Her talk is called How to Use Naropa as Mirror and Metaphor Using the Moving Cycle. Welcome, Marlene.
Thank you, Elizabeth, and thank you, Naropa. Namaste. I graduated in 2003, and I don't need that yet. And I invented something by, I'll say, reverse engineering. And some of you here know because you're clients of mine. The moving cycle, which is right there, was invented by Dr. Christine Caldwell. I don't know if some of you have her as a teacher. She was my teacher when I was here back in the day. We gave away already that I'm probably 100 years old by now because I have 50 years experience. I'll make that connection here in a minute for you. But at any rate, I'm going to make a connection here for you about what is taught here at Naropa in Somatic Psychology, which I did, and I'm also a dancer like Lucy, but I started a little bit earlier because I'm 150 years old at this point. So now I'll get that clicker thing. Let's do the math here. Namaste. Namaste to my tribe, because I really feel like, right, go tribe, that we are connected in spirit and in body in some regard that I think brings us all here. So for the rest of the world that's listening, because this will also be on YouTube, hashtag Namaste, right? Okay, so here I am again. Doing the math, I literally did start dance when I was 4. Lucy started when she was 8, so I beat her. But she and I are good friends. So I started at age 4, and my dance debut was at Bonfils Theater in Denver, Colorado, and I was lead reindeer because I'm 6 feet tall. I wasn't when I was 4, but I was lead reindeer. So lead, head, reindeer, in the front of the carrying the people, whatever, yes. So I'm planting a seed here because our Dharma, and we know that word here because we're at Naropa, other people don't, it's a Sanskrit word, it means life purpose, or it might mean your birthright. And I think a lot of us are drawn here to Naropa because we're coming here to do what it is that we're supposed to be doing, and so we don't get sidetracked. So our seed plant comes at 4 years old, and I'm just telling you that so you can have a moment of self-reflection. What were you doing it for? Who were you it for? Who did they say you were it for? Well, I was dancing, and as you know, you've got the story. So as I continued, I ended up getting a dance degree over here at CU, so I didn't travel very far. After I got that dance degree, or I'll say right before, at the end or something there, transition, there was a line in a book there. It was a dance history book. And these pieces will be important. There'll be a test here in a minute. It said, the oldest movement form in the world is yoga. I was like, oh, great. I'm going to graduate with a dance degree. I also got an advertising and marketing degree while I was there. And then I thought, what the hell am I going to do? What did I just do to myself, right? But I thought, oh, this is great. This is great. I'll go do yoga because I don't know what the heck else to do. And it was in a book. And it resonated with me the same way sort of dance did. So I went to do yoga, and I thought, well, I'll go take a class. And back in the day, because you know how old I am, I took a yoga class, and I thought, this is weird. This doesn't feel right. I was like, I don't like this. I'm leaving. I took one class. The teacher follows me out the door, and she says, she didn't know my name. I didn't know who she was. And it was here in Boulder. I won't tell you the company because they'll come and get me. But the lady said, would you take over the class? I've got to go to yada yada and move out of state. I'm like, oh, that's great. Why don't I just do that? So I did because it fit. I didn't like being a student. I more liked being a teacher. So I did yoga. Now, the story doesn't stop there. As I'm teaching yoga, a lady in my yoga class said, you're not going to believe this, true story, hashtag whoever. she said, "You're teaching yoga like you're one of those somatic people at Naropa." Right? She said that. And for those of you who don't know, somatic is just Latin for body, body-centered, body awareness. And I was like, oh, that resonated well. I'm going to go do that. Right? So I did. So now I'm starting to connect you kind of with what mirror connects with me, with what's going on in your life. I'd like to address the whole world in a sense and use this as our template. Use Naropa as our template to how do we spread this out? How do we get the rest of the world to say, I want to do what I want to do? I think there's a statistic, it says 80% of the people are in the wrong job. I'm like, oh my Lord, no, right? We're all happy and hate ourselves, and heart attacks happen at 9 a.m. on Mondays. I kid you not, fact. Fact. So I'm going to connect the two because we'll start with this. Some of you may recognize this picture. This is a beautiful mountain picture. I wonder where it came from. It's just a sense of awareness. So we want to start with that. This is the beginning of the moving cycle that Dr. Christine Caldwell taught me. I've used myself. I used it as metaphor when I was in Naropa, and I used it along the way even when I was 4, even if I didn't know. Even if I didn't know. Later I come back and say, oh, well, I mean, I didn't know what I was doing anyway, right? As I was going along. So let's do a hand mudra. Now I've got both these dang hands. I'm like, how am I going to teach a hand mudra? So let's do index finger to tip of thumb. Do it with both hands because I don't have to. I'm full up here. Yeah. And then rest your hands wherever. Now, some of you may know this is the hand mudra of attention with an A like awareness. So it's whatever your awareness is on. Right now it's maybe me because I'm loud and there's lights and I'm tall and whatever. So let's switch it, almost in the same way that we would switch people who hate their job, which is one of my goals in life. I want to switch it. What if 80% of the people love their job, right? Maybe there's no road rage. I don't know, right? So take awareness and attention to yourself, because I'm going to take you through the cycle that Dr. Christine Caldwell took me through, which is a reverse engineering coming into the back door kind of thing, the way that I invented a method that I do, but you don't know about that yet. So awareness, take attention to awareness, what you feel, who you are, what you're thinking, what's going on, where your attention is. Now, as I use this to work with clients, here's what I found. This is my extrapolation of her original theory, which is, okay, I'm aware I'm up here, I'm aware this is loud, I'm seeing you, I'm teaching, I've got this thing going on, I'm witnessing myself doing it, I see this, I'm kind of aware. What if I'm a basket case? You know, what if I'm like, ah, and she loses her thing and I disassociate and go crazy, right? That's not gonna work. So what happens with this sequence here is you can go overboard, you can be over-aware. We would never know of such a thing, but we're in the Boulder bubble. Oh, I bet that's a hashtag. Hashtag Boulder bubble. Maybe. Okay, so what if we're under-aware? What if we're not underwear? What if we're under-aware, right? Okay, we might be fragmented. We might be disassociated. We might be not there. So try to take yourself in the middle of your own awareness. That's interesting, right? I'm not a basket case and I'm not disassociating, but oh my God, I might be right here, right now. Right? That's different. Think of anything that's bothering you. Think of anything you're struggling with, thinking something you want to change. Think of anything you want to evolve. That's different. That's way different. Let's say you're fine. And this kind of makes me think of my method, the Prinzing Method that I've developed after my last name. It's always evolving. It's not dead. Nothing's wrong. It's not broken. But I will put that through that cycle 100 times, and we're only at step 1. So let's go to step 2. So again, here we are. Take yourself in the middle of owning whatever issue, whatever problem, whatever thing you want to evolve or fix or change or transmute or transcend, right? Shift, change, because we can. Think of owning it. Oh, it's mine. Oh, maybe it's not. Whose ownership is it? Put it in its place, in a sense. Now, what happens when we over-own is blaming comes up. Like, oh, no, it's me, I did it. Oh, God, no, okay, then we're blaming. What if we're under-owning? Oh, well, then we're maybe irresponsible or we're not taking responsibility. So with your own issue, with your topic, whatever you want to move through, and I'm hoping by the end of this moment here, it will shift, that you'll really feel it shift. And when it does shift, I hope it shifts in the system. You know, it shifts in the body because our intelligence is in the body. It really is. So let's go to the next one. That's 2, number 2. Awareness 1, owning 2. Okay, come on. Come on. Okay, yay. Yay. Okay, appreciation, right? Okay, so that's number 3 of the moving cycle from Dr. Christine Caldwell. So what can we appreciate about it? About whatever the topic is, whatever the issue is. So if we over-appreciate, I'll call that almost over-mirroring, where we get almost too excited for the task that's going on. Like, okay, someone comes home and, oh, I got a C on my grade today, and I'm all C's, and I forgot to go to school. Well, that's great. You know, that's weird, right? It's not great, it's weird. It doesn't make sense, and it's very confusing. It's over-mirroring. So we don't need to Pollyannish ourselves out and over-appreciate. It's almost as detrimental as under-appreciating. So same thing with under-appreciate. Under-appreciate is, well, just the opposite. Maybe they come home and get A's, and then they're on TV, and you're like, that's great, and you leave, right? So that's like, so again, appreciating yourself and going in the middle of appreciation. So the last one, there we go. I've also been in some movies, so I thought I would use this. I was in the Dick Van Dyke Diagnosis Murder series as a nurse in Hollywood. I was, in addition to being a dancer and a kind of a crazy person. So action. What about people that overaction? Well, that might be impulsive, right? What if you underaction? Well, then you're a couch potato. Or you don't do things like you're not supposed to get it to go. Who was somebody? Caitlin said that. You know, her boss stuff about just do it. You'll never be ready, right? Just kind of do it. So think of that as the ending of the cycle for you, for your topic, and see how you feel. See if you feel different. If they feel different at all, how you're thinking or how you're feeling about whatever topic or thing was on your mind or whatever you had attention to. Anybody feel different? Yes? No? No? All right then, we're talkative audience here. Okay, so here we go. This goes back to wrapping up kind of who I am, where I came from, and how I'm kind of matching this moving cycle with my method, the Prinzing Method. I'll tell you how this came about. We know kind of a little bit about the moving cycle from here and from Dr. Caldwell. She has a book, she has a lot of books, but she has a book if you want to look at her cycle. Getting in Touch is the name of her book. I'll write a book soon, and then you invite me back 10 years, and we'll have the books. So for Dharma, again, life purpose. This is my life purpose, is to discover the root cause of everything. I'm always seeking that, always seeking it, always seeking it. And that's why I love the moving cycle. I love the moving cycle because it kind of comes back to that. And I use the Prinzing Method to heal others. So what the heck is the Prinzing Method? Well, it's an intuitive, and this gives you a chance to go to my website when we leave. Not now, don't turn those things on. If you want an intuitive reading, I'm clairvoyant and clairaudient, or clairauditory, which means I have an ability to read the tissue tone in your body. So when clients come to me, I've done this for 25 forever years, and I've never taken a history. Never taken a history, I've never written anything down, not once. Because you are the map. That's how strong somatic psychology is. You are the map, you are the blueprint. And I can even tell the difference between your blueprint, your DNA, what you've come in with. I can tell the difference between that and behavioral, something that's been superimposed onto your DNA in a sense. So last, I'll tell you how the Prinzing came about, and then you can use your own sort of mind to put the two together and see why the heck I did it. Which is, I'll say many years ago, back in the day, as old as I am, I didn't really know what I was doing either as far as how we follow whatever it is we're doing. I consulted, that's the word. I consulted a career coach at one point many years ago. And I said, I'm kind of at a stopping point, I'm at a block, what the heck am I gonna do? And she says, well, what are you doing? And I said, well, I don't know. And I seriously didn't know. I had this weird gift of reading stuff, and it was so innate to me, and I did it so much, I was not even aware, really. So I said, well, I'm kind of reading things. I'm getting sentences. I have these pictures and these images and this guidance, and I give these people this information. Then I have all this body knowledge. I have all this certifications in exercise therapy and degrees in kinesiology and spinal rehabilitation. And she's like, well, what are you doing with it? And then I explained that it was kind of different and that I was literally following the pathway of tissue memory. Literally. And I didn't know really I was doing that. So then she had the brilliant idea. She says, well, your last name is a little unusual, which it is. She says, what you're doing is a little unusual. And I said, okay, fair enough. She says, why don't you call it the Prinzing Method? So at any rate, that's kind of how my method came to be. And I feel like the moving cycle with Dr. Caldwell has sort of run right into the Prinzing Method. So making that own connection for yourself, following and using the moving cycle. And I'm also offering you an intuitive reading. I do it over the phone. I don't know how I do that. I have no idea. But feel free to get onto my website. You can book a half-hour free with me and any questions, and I'll be at the back afterwards. I always have plenty of business cards, and I live right here in Superior, Colorado. So one last hashtag namaste. Thank you, Naropa.